It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Friday in the Ozarks. It is April 4th, and we are in the middle of several days of rain and thunderstorms, and today is no exception. I have more rain, more severe weather, and the risk for flooding, even snowfall in this forecast as we head into the weekend. It's incredibly active. So I'm glad you're here listening this morning because it's a super important forecast. I'm going to break down for you day by day here as we head through the weekend. We have multiple threats in the Ozarks. As you know, we've already had a couple days with some flooding concerns and the severe weather warnings that have been numerous across the Ozarks the last couple of days. Today will be no exception. I continue to see the threat for some strong storms in the forecast, primarily developing this afternoon and evening, especially for areas in our far southeastern counties. We've got storms, flooding, and snowfall all headlining this forecast as we head into the weekend. Each day has something different to offer. Today, we have heavy rain, flash flooding as a threat for all of the Ozarks. And the severe weather chance today, I think, really is going to be isolated south of I-44 and maybe even more than that in our extreme southeastern counties. That is where the conditions look best today to get some very powerful storm activity. The risks here include high winds, hail, and yes, even the chance for tornadoes and perhaps some long-tracked tornadoes today. That's a headline. The Storm Prediction Center has been talking about that. So it's definitely on my radar for later today. If you live in this area, please make sure you have a way to receive watches and warnings all day long and just think ahead about your day. You know, what time is school drop off? What time is pickup? Where am I going to be this evening? And in those places, where would I take shelter? Just giving it a little bit of thought ahead of time helps you act should you be under a tornado warning later today. And that's what we want everybody to be: safe, prepared, and able to kind of track all the risks that we have coming in the Ozarks. Of course, even if you don't get the severe weather, the flooding is going to be a risk for everybody in the Ozarks with multiple rounds of heavy rainfall. We've got this flash flood watch out, and it's going to exist all the way up and down I-44 and points to the south. It's a flood watch, and I am expecting that we see, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain in some places. I think on an average scenario here, we're talking anywhere from 3 to 4 inches of rain for the Springfield region, but it could be as high as 6 in some spots around the Springfield area. However, you get down into Houston, Mountain Grove, Eminence in those southeastern counties, the places I was talking about that have the opportunity for the even more severe weather today. We could be talking 8, maybe even 9 inches of rain. This is all going to fall through Sunday, and that is way, way, way too much in a short period of time. If you're listening from the northern counties, you're north of Springfield, well, you're not in the clear. You have a lot of rainfall on the way, even from portions of Camden 10. We're talking 2 to 4 inches of rainfall through the weekend, so you could have some isolated flooding happening as well. And all of this is going to lead to an increase in water levels for some of our area rivers and lakes and streams. And, all of that is interconnected. So this is going to lead to flooding everywhere in the Ozarks with additional chances for severe weather, very high rainfall rates in some of those storms. It's just kind of wild. Oftentimes, April does bring us flooding events, but boy, it is starting off with a bang this year. Oh, we have water over the roads. It's going to be possible for the rest of the day. I really think the heavy rain threat picks up tonight into tomorrow. So especially after dark tonight, it's incredibly difficult to see water over the roads. Just prepare ahead of time. Find out if you're in a floodplain. Look that up. You can visit floodsmart.gov to figure that out. Also, determine which roads in your area, if you're prone to flooding, which ones are likely to flood. Maybe plan your routes out for the weekend a little bit differently and identify the fastest way to higher ground. So just like I said, we prepare for tornado warnings, prepare for flooding too. Think about, am I in a low-lying spot? If I had to evacuate, where would I go because of high water? That is seriously a situation that we could be in as we head into tonight and tomorrow. So I want everybody to put in those practice plans, and hopefully we don't have to use them. A flood watch is going to be out for our southeastern counties through Sunday. And then, yes, indeed, snow is possible by Sunday morning. This is a wild forecast. I don't think it's a lot of snow, but I think it could come down at a pretty good pace for some time because cooler air ushers in Saturday night into early Sunday. Yeah, maybe an inch maybe 2 inches in some places, but it's going to be melting quickly. I think the ground is too warm for it to really cause impacts on the roadways, but just a mess. If we have flooded roads, if we have snowfall on top of it, it is going to be cold and just a bother as we head into the weekend forecast. The key message here is that we have much colder temperatures arriving, and that's what's going to lead to the snowfall on Sunday morning. Also, early next week, there's going to be this frost freeze potential. So if you already have your plants in the ground, you're going to need to prepare to cover them up. We've got not only below normal temperatures and dry conditions early next week, but the chance for a frost and a freeze, couple different mornings early next week. So sensitive vegetation should be covered up or brought indoors if possible. So we could see some impacts to crops or any of those early budding trees, the fruit trees that are happening across the Ozarks already. Woo. If that wasn't enough to take you through the next 3 days. It is going to be a wild couple of days here in the Ozarks. I recommend indoor plans this weekend. And of course, preparing for the high water if that will impact you. Around the country, what's happening? Well, it's our flash flooding event that's making national news headlines. This is not just for us here in the Ozarks, but it also includes much of the lower Ohio Valley and the Mid-South. Severe weather is expected again today for parts of the Ozarks and the Arklatex area with large hail and more tornadoes possible. And then across the southeastern portion of the country, we've got way above average temperatures, leading to a very warm start to spring for our friends down on the Gulf Coast and much of the southeastern portion of the country. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. This one may come in handy, true or false. It does not have to be raining for a flash flood warning to be issued. A flash flood warning, by the way, means that water is rising fast and it's happening now. So you need to take action. And this is actually a true statement. You would think that these are issued during incredibly high rainfall rates, and yes, they are, but it can also be issued when flash flooding is possible through other means, meaning rapidly rising or moving water. This is a deadly threat in the Ozarks, killing more people than any other weather threats combined. So even if it's not actively raining and you see that your county just went under a flash flood warning this weekend, well, it means that water is coming up quick or it's getting out of the boundaries of its riverbed or wherever it belongs. So keep in mind, a flash flood warning can be issued even if you are not directly underneath a thunderstorm. All right, here's another one for you. What is the latest snowfall on record for Springfield, Missouri? Meaning, how late in the year have we seen measurable snowfall? Do you think it's A, April 1st, April Fool's Day, B, April 4th, C, April 28th, or D, May 3rd? What's the latest in the year that you remember getting measurable snowfall? April 1st, April 4th, April 28th, or May 3rd? I'll have the answer for you early Monday morning. I hope everyone stays safe across the Ozarks today. We'll be keeping the webpage updated for you. That's aroundtheozarks.com. Just click on the weather tab. You're going to get all the weather info that you need, including info on the watches and the warnings and how those flood advisories and watches may change as we head through the weekend forecast. I hope everyone stays safe. Please stay weather aware, and I will be back to chat with you first thing next week. Thanks to our sponsors, John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet.